With breaking news tonight, I'm Natalie Solis. Dallas police officer Amber Geiger has been arrested and charged with manslaughter in the shooting death of 26-year-old Botham John inside his own apartment. 30-year-old Geiger was booked into the Kaufman County Jail tonight and posted bond about an hour later. Police say Geiger shot and killed John Thursday night after authorities said she mistook his apartment for her own at the Southside Flats in the Cedars. The Texas Rangers took over the investigation from the Dallas Police Department and held off on a warrant for her arrest until tonight. They have now handed the case over to the Dallas County District Attorney's Office. The lawyer for John's family says the arrest should have come sooner because of sufficient evidence, and they wanted Geiger to be treated like every other citizen.
The existence of probable cause is painstakingly clear to everyone, including, we believe, the chief of police when she started the process of filling out a warrant.
We begin.
I was scared. Whoever was inside my apartment was going to kill me. And I'm sorry. I have to live with that every single day. No police officer ever would want to hurt an innocent person. I ask God for forgiveness and I hate myself every single day. I feel like I don't deserve the chance to be with my family and friends. I wish he was the one with the gun that killed me. I never wanted to take an innocent person's life. And I am so sorry. This is not about hate. It's about being scared that night.
We, the jury, unanimously find the defendant, Amber Geiger, guilty of murder as charged in the indictment. No outburst. And it is signed by the presiding juror, who is juror number 11. Mr. Rogers, would you like to have the jury poll? All right. You may be seated, Ms. Geiger.
I was scared.
The deputies, so I suspect that maybe they will be leaving the courthouse under police escort.
And Rebecca, I'm sorry to circle back with you. You were saying that there was sort of a flurry of activity and all of a sudden there were sheriff's deputies around. So obviously that alerted you all to, hey, something's going on.
The deputy.
Begin with breaking news.
I want the best for you because I know that's exactly what both of them would want you to do. And the best would be give your life to Christ. I'm not going to say anything else. Thing that both of them would want you to do. I give her a hug, please. Please.
Yes.
Jeremiah 2, verse 14. Is Israel a servant? Is he a homeborn slave? Why is he spoiled? Shalom, shalom. First off, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakakadash, Yahweh being the true name for the Heavenly Father, Yahweh shall be the name for his only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls God, and Jesus Christ. I'm going to give double honor to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, the top of this truth and rule well. And salutations to you, hopeful elect, pushing this truth and all honesty and sincerity. So, Brother Yahweh Sab comes, less the spirit power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, going into this whole Amber Geiger verdict of being, convicted guilty of murder. And she was only sentenced to 10 years, man, to 10 years to prison for murdering a man in cold blood inside his own home, unarmed. Went inside his house and then tried to use the false sentiment that she mistaked his house for being hers and shot and killed this man. And this was a straight up murder. And anybody with some common sense from the outside looking in can look at this situation and be like, there's a lot more to this story. You can look at this story and tell that this lady had to have known this guy. Whether he said something to her to anger her or make her upset, or maybe he might have been dealing with her on the low as far as being his woman or something like that. You never know. It had to have been a crime of passion of some sort, whether it be they intimately knew each other or she just had a vendetta. But the crazy part about it is how much Jake or these so-called Negroes really, really worship these so-called white people. This lady just murdered this man in cold blood in his home. Then you got this man's blood brother comes up there and hugs this woman. Then you got the nigger woman cop brushing the lady's hair. And then you got the nigger woman judge hugging her murderer, man. Oh, and they accepted this so-called white lady's tears and then felt some type of way about it because they worship these people. And you got the brother hugging them. You got the cop who was in the room brushing her hair, and the judge hugging her after sentencing, man. And let the tables be turned. Let's say if it was a so-called white woman judge sitting in that position, okay, and it was a white man that was murdered in his home. They would threw the books at him, man. They would have been 30 plus years in jail, 30 years of life. You never do you see a time where you got the judge hugging the person that's convicted after sentencing, even when the judge does know that the person would be innocent, even in cases where they know the person that's being convicted is innocent. They still don't be doing no hugging shit like this, man. And that's why I open up with this precept. It says, is Israel a servant? Is he a homeborn slave? Why is he spoiled, man? Are you a homeborn slave? You got got 3 house niggas hugging this lady, man. Feeling some type of way for this woman. When she murdered this man in cold blood. There wasn't no mistaking. You know how you decorate your place. You know how your place smells when you walk through the door. You even know how your door looks when you walking up to it. That bullshit as excuse that she thought it was her apartment is bull, man. And this was an off-duty cop that did that too. So of course she really got off. Because if she only got 10 years, she'll be out, on good behavior in maybe 4 to 6 years. So realistically, this woman got basically 4 years for murdering somebody, man. Nothing happened. This is Psalm 73:5. It says, they are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. That's why this lady only got 10 years for murder. Straight cold blood murder. Okay? And then you see her crying on a stand and not even any real tears coming out. Just faking. But Jake, man, Jake wants to be like this so-called white man so much, and this under this Christianity was a big weapon towards our people to intentionally make them docile. This is a success of Christianity right here. This is a success of Christianity. Christianity has caused this situation to where you got this man's brother is hugging this woman. This is why Christianity was created, and this is not of the scriptures. This is not biblical at all. The Lord would not be okay with this. regardless of what your pastors are out there teaching people, it is not okay with this behavior. And we're going to prove it with scripture. Okay, this is 2 Corinthians 6 and 17. Wherefore come out from among them, and be ye separate, saith Yahweh, and touch not the unclean thing, and I will receive you. Okay, this is being separate from evil, from wickedness, and this is also being separate from the heathen, is what this is talking about. Wicked people, heathens, sin, be separate, touch not the unclean thing. And what Christianity does is it tells you that everybody is your neighbor and your brother, and that's not true. When the scriptures is talking about your neighbor and brother and love them and forgive them, that's talking about your fellow Israelites, and more specifically, your fellow Hebrew Israelites that is laboring within this truth, that's in the truth, teaching the truth. Okay, that's who you are to forgive. The brothers that's on the front line with you, man. All right, so when it says love your neighbor and forgive your neighbor, that's who it's talking about. And the Israelites today are the so-called Black, Latino, and Native American people. As a vast majority, those are the true Hebrew Israelites. Now, you have some of our people scattered amongst the other nations, but as a vast majority, those are the Hebrew Israelites, man. Those are the brothers, the neighbors. Okay? Not the heathen. Okay, this is Proverbs. This is Proverbs 14, Proverbs 4 and 14. It says, enter not into the path of the wicked, and go not in the way of evil men. Okay, so you shouldn't be walking and consulting and feeling sorry for the wicked and evil men, man. If she got her judgment, she got her judgment. What is Jake doing hugging him, man? You know, it's just like off that movie Django, that character that Samuel Jackson played. The house slave, man. That was loving Mr. Candyman. What do they call him? You know, hugging him and stuff where they got shot. That's basically exactly what's going on. That is the result of Christianity, man. That was a false sentiment. It's not of the scriptures to have that mentality of loving the wicked and the heathen. That's what put fury on your spirit to want vengeance. You know? This is verse 15. It says, avoid it, pass not by it, turn from it, and pass away. For they sleep not, except they have done mischief. Okay? Proverbs 14 and 16, I'll read that again. For they sleep not, except they have done mischief, and their sleep is taken away, unless they cause some to fall. So that's how the heathen are, these Edomites, these so-called white people. They don't sleep well unless they cause some type of mischief amongst Jacob, amongst these so-called Black, Latino, Native American people. Unless they're witnessing some type of suffering from you, mischief, they're not sleeping good. And their sleep is taken away unless they cause some to fall. And one of the dudes that was testifying of witnessing, one of the witnesses are involved in testifying against that white woman, he was found dead. Recently, like 2 days ago, he was killed. So now they cleaning up, man. Verse 17 says, for they eat the bread of wickedness and drink the wine of violence. You know, and that's why verse 14 says, enter not into the path of the wicked. This is their mentality, man. They eat the bread of wickedness and drink the wine of violence. That's why all these mass shootings and stuff and murders is coming from these Edomites, these red Hebrew Edomites. Look what they did to this dude. The neighbor who testified against Amber Geiger and Botham John case, shot and killed in Dallas. Isn't that a coincidence, man? And look, another so-called black man. Where's the uproar, though? Where's Black Lives Matter in this? That shit is dead. We can't escape these curses, man. But Jake, they love Esau. They love the wicked. It's sad, man. This is the book of Romans, the 3rd chapter. Okay. We're going to read down here. It says, verse 15, their feet are swift to shed blood. Destruction and misery are in their ways. And the way of peace have they not known. There is no fear of Yahweh before their eyes. That's the mind type, the mentality of these heathen and these wicked, man. This is why, Jake's being slaughtered down like this. You got a whole nation of people that has gone into a whole land, conquered it, raped, robbed, and pillaged millions upon millions upon millions of these people, man. But you want to hug this man? You want to hug this white woman, though, right? Look at this shit, man. You see this? Jake is just lost, man. And he's doing that under the sentiment of Christianity. It says, love your enemy, man. It's not talking about that shit. This is Genesis 49:9. Judah is a lion's whelp. From the prey, my son, thou art gone up. He stooped down. He couched as a lion. And as an old lion, who shall rouse him up? This is the mindset, the mentality of Jake, man, the so-called black man of the tribe of Judah. They couched down as an old lion, man. Who's going to rouse Jake up? They just docile and simple. They've been beaten and beaten and beaten down to the point to where they're just completely docile, comfortable in their affliction and their slavery, and nobody's rousing them up right now. But the Lord is the only one that's going to rouse up Jake, man. And during the time of Jacob's trouble, Jacob is finally going to get the understanding. And Esau knows we're approaching that time where Judah will begin to be roused up. So then he's fabricating these cases and murders like this, man, because they want Jake to be in this mentality here. Because when Judah is roused up, then you got warriors, man. You got vengeance being taken out, and there will be bloodshed and payback. The biggest thing these so-called white people fear is to have to pay back our people for slavery. They fear that justice, that judgment. This is the picture perfect so-called black man that this so-called white man wants to achieve with our people. Keep him docile and use him for his talents. Because Jacob is the form of all things. This dude probably got some kind of crazy ass good job. He probably bringing this so-called white man so much money. He's a picture perfect nigga. Let's keep him docile and let's make him love us no matter what, even if we kill his family member in cold blood murder. Throw some Christianity at him and brainwash him. This is what the so-called white man has done, man. This is a product of that. This dude's brother was murdered, man. And this lady only got 10 years and she'll be out on good behavior in like 4. And he hugging this lady. Jake is just gone, man. This is John 8:44. It says, ye are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. That's the mentality of these red Hebrew Edomites, man. Okay? A murderer from the beginning. In the beginning, the first murderer, you got Cain. And these so-called white people, these red Hebrew Edomites, they are descendants of that. They have the same spirit of that Cain. Okay? This is why you have this precept here, Ecclesiastes 12:10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. You can't trust him, okay? He will kill you. Verse 11 says, though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. Okay, did this woman not humble herself? And with crouching, she's got these damn tears. These fake tears. Though they humble themselves, guess what? She will murder your ass in cold blood again. And give her the opportunity. If she had it, she would torture your ass to death, man. This is the enemy. Okay? They're real good with their words of trying to make you feel good and drawing sympathy for them. Why? Because that's what they want to portray, that they can't do anything wrong. This is what the media, the movies, these shows, they always portray these so-called white people as being pure. The most sweetest, good-hearted people. Look at all the little Disney shows and characters and shit like that. They're all white princes and princesses. Can do no wrong, just peaceful. But they're the ones that have the most bloodshed on their hands. They're the ones with the most bodies on the planet Earth, man. It says, yet take good heed and beware of him. and thou shalt be unto him as if hast wiped a looking glass. Okay, so they don't care. You're just nothing but a little thing, a little stain on the glass that they can wipe away. You're nothing. They look right through you. It says, and thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away. Okay, you can't get rid of that. The rust will come back. Eventually, you may have a cast iron skillet. You can oil it up. You can season it all you want. But guess what? The elements will kick in. The weather. Eventually, that rust will begin to show. Okay? And that's how it goes. Even though it looks good, that rust going to come forth. And that modern day rust is bloodshed, murder. Okay? This is Psalms 82:6. I have said, ye are gods, and all of you are the children of the Most High. That's how the Lord feels about you so-called Black, Latino, and Native American people, man. But you look at the so-called white man as being gods. But the Lord said, you are the gods, okay? You are the children of the Most High. You are the only ones that are considered the Most High looks at as being his children. So why are you so obsessed and loving this red Hebrew Edomite? Psalm 73:5, I read that again. They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. All these judicial laws and systems against Jacob, man. This is why you get 30 years or plus more, if you did the exact same thing as that so-called white woman did. But you want to hug her, though. Right? Jacob, man, is just gone. Jeremiah 7:16. This is exactly why we didn't want to send up no prayers for his brother that got murdered, because he said on a stand, he said, if my brother were here, he would do the exact same thing. That's exactly why the Lord took his ass out. Okay, because the dude was a wicked pastor teaching lies. There was a wicked pastor that was teaching that exact mentality to go and hug these heathen, these red Hebrew Edomites when they slaughter you in the streets. He was creating that mentality and carrying it on. So guess what? The Lord decided it was time to bring judgment, and he sent a white woman to do it. The exact ones that he was proclaiming everybody to love. He took his ass out. And you had all types of people mourning for this man. Oh, he got murdered in his own apartment. He got murdered in cold blood. And then next thing you know, lady only gets 10 years, probably be out on 4 on good behavior. And you got everybody condoning his brother for forgiving her. You see? Jeremiah 7:16. Therefore pray not for this people, neither lift up cry nor prayer for them, neither make intercession to me, for I will not hear thee. Okay? This is why when you see stories on the news, shit like this happens to Jake, just don't give a fuck about it. All right? That was judgment from the Lord. Okay? You're supposed to say, call all Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And motherfucker got judged. Okay? That's what it was. Because look at the mentality of his family. That shit that his brother, was the one that got killed, was teaching. It says, seest thou not what they do in the streets of Judah and the streets of Jerusalem? The children gather wood, and the fathers kindle the fire, and the women knead their dough to make cakes to the queen of heaven, and to pour out drink offerings unto other gods, that they may provoke me to anger. And that's exactly what goes on within the Christian church. They worship the queen of heaven. Okay? Easter. All that shit, man. That's Queen of Heaven worship. Celebrating Christmas, all these wicked pagan holidays. Offerings to other gods. Well, his brother was a pastor. Right? Provoke the Lord to anger. It says, do they provoke me to anger, saith Yahweh? Do they not provoke themselves to the confusion of their own faces? Promoting confusion to love these heathens. These heathens don't have a place in the kingdom of heaven. They're going to be permanently eradicated. You shouldn't feel no type of way for them. You shouldn't love them. They're here. They're created to be the whooping stick under Jacob when you go off and not keep the law, statutes, and commandments. You don't sit up here worshiping these people, man. Obadiah 1:10 says, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee. Thou shalt be cut off forever. That's how the Lord feels about Esau. And that woman is a red Hebrew Edomite, an Edomite, Esau, okay? She's going to be cut off forever for the violence that she committed. So yes, she might only got 10 years, maybe 4 on this case. But when the Lord comes back, hey, she got 1,000 years of captivity she's going into. Jeremiah 30:16 says, therefore, all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries, every one of them. Does this look like the Lord wants you to forgive all of them? It says, every one of them shall go into captivity, and they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all that prey upon thee I will give for a prey. This is vengeance, recompense. This is the mentality, the thought process you should be in, is of the Lord, of this scripture. Not going around hugging the wicked for killing your brother. You know? You should be praying upon the Lord, praying for that he brings judgment upon this woman. But what you got instead is in them hugging each other and stuff. And you got another man that just died behind this dude. And they go around hugging each other and shit, man. This woman shouldn't even be in a position of a judge. This woman shouldn't even be in a position of a police officer. Both of these women should be keepers at home, man. Obedient to their own husbands. A man of the Lord to teach them the right way. This is a product of not having the Lord the correct way in your life. Your brother gets killed and you're too brainwashed to see that she deserves judgment behind that. And he even said that if it was up to him, she wouldn't be going to jail at all. That's how heavy that demonic spirit of Christianity is pushed out on our people, man. And not just our people, but the face of the world. It's really created to keep this so-called white man up top. This is why they paint themselves as being a white Jesus. You know, that's the ultimate thing of pure and innocent, that they can do no harm, when you got the so-called white man painted up on the cross when it's supposed to be a so-called black man. One more precept and then we'll close it out here. You know, because you people will pay for this. This is Revelation 13:10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. Who was led into captivity? So-called black, Latino, and Native Americans, okay? Under the Spaniards, under the Portuguese, under the British, under the so-called white man, they enslaved the earth. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. So the people that put us in slavery shall go into slavery. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword, okay? She killed with the sword. The modern day sword is the gun, and she murdered a man with it. So she must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. You should have patience for this to come, meaning hope for this to come. And faith of the saints, faith that it will happen and take place, not considering it, saying, hey, I don't want it to happen, and then go hugging the bitch. You know, so with that, I'm going to close out, give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. Double honor to the elders, the apostles of Great Millstone, the top of this truth and will well, and salutations to you, hopeful elect, pushing this truth in all honesty and sincerity. Shalom.